Yo, 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 what up, what up, what up? What's going on, man? It's Yah'm Podcast, man. We back at it. Yo, 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 what's happening? What's happening, man? We back, we back after a long break, much needed break. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, just had a lot of stuff going on. You know what I'm saying? And it was man, it just got to the point where you just, just like yo, yo, what's up, sis? Um, yeah, man, just needed a break. You know, mental break, man. Just had a lot of things going on since like March. You know what I'm saying? And just need a break. It's just at that point where it was like, yo, where my body was like, hey man, yo, you need to chill out. You need to chill
Yeah.
out. You need to sit down. You feel me? And you need to relax. Give your brain a relax. You know what I'm saying? Relax.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And we all get like that, man. And and that's why I tell people, man, like, look, man, there's nothing wrong with sitting down somewhere. Nothing wrong with it, man. Sit down, relax, find time for yourself. You know what I'm saying? Find time for yourself. And um, yeah, yeah, that's right. Mental breaks, man. You have to take them, man. It's important. It's important for your body, man. It is important for your body.
And
Uh,
your
you
brain.
know, yeah, and your brain, man, like for real, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, like really, like there were points where, like I'll be driving. I got like a 15-minute drive to work. Like I just, oh crap, like I'll leave, and then I'm like, oh man, I'm like halfway. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
Home. Yo, yo, what's good? What's good? What's good, Bruce? What's happening? What's going on, brother? Yeah, we're doing good, man. So like really, man, like take the mental breaks, man. Break, you know what I'm saying? Take the mental breaks, the physical breaks, and you know what I'm saying. But what's good, bro?
Man, nothing much, man. I needed the break too, man. I found myself like not really sleeping well.
Mm-hmm. That's a
Really
sign too.
only get, yeah, really only getting 6 hours of sleep. But it wasn't like good sleep,
Mm-hmm.
it's always broken and so forth. And I was like, driving home and I'm like just dozing off just out of the blue. And I
Mm-hmm.
didn't feel myself being really tired. I'm just like, yeah, like I just really need to check out for a little bit, man.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You have to, man. That's how it was. Yeah, yesterday, man. I think I was, man. My brain. I was tired. I was just beat, just beat, man. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm back in the gym. Part of that too is me going to the doctor and getting some things looked at, getting some things checked out. So it's mental, it's physical. You know what I'm saying? Take care of your physical, take care of your body, man. So you can be on this earth as long as possible, man. Take care of your body, take care of your brain. You know what I'm saying? If relaxing ain't work, you need to seek mental help, man. Please, please, please go seek that mental help from a mental professional or talk to whatever religious leader or however you need to positively get you know what I'm saying, get that reprieve that your body needs, man, that is craving, that is telling you. You feel me? So but yeah, man, that's very important, man. That's very important. That's one thing I'm learning as I get older.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah, man. I'm trying to be around at least long enough that I can get at least a percentage of my money back for Social Security.
Yeah, that's facts,
You
man.
know, yeah, like, look, man. I needs that bread.
Needs that money, dog. Need that money. That's how I look at it, man. Especially me being retired military. I want every penny Uncle Sam owe me. You feel me? You know what I mean? Like I need every year of that, dog. Every year, give it all
Owe me
back.
my dog.
Yeah, yeah, man. But yeah, man, just and of course, through all that, we got a lot of change in the family. You know what I'm saying? Just change, good change. Success,
Yeah.
man. We got our kids doing great things, man, and family members, other, doing great things, and man, so it's been good, man. It's been good, man. But at the end of the day, man, take time for yourself, man. Get help when you get that mental and physical help, man. You know what I'm saying? Don't be, especially men, take you behind to the doctor. Take you behind to the doctor.
Mhm.
All right, all right. Especially once you hit that 35, man, the oil lights start to come on more often. You feel me?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that check engine light start to come on more often, man. So you know what I'm saying. So you got, man, don't be too proud out here, man. Don't be too proud. But yeah, man. But yeah, man. I'm ready to get into it, man. Ready to get
Yeah,
into it.
yeah, definitely.
Oh yeah, yeah. Same with women too. Yeah, man. Same with women too. That's right, sis. Same with women too, man. Everybody just go get checked, man. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
use that insurance, man. Use that insurance. You pay
Yeah,
for it.
man. Hey, I'm about to, man. I was looking at my insurance. I'm like, hey, man, I need to start using this, man. You feel me? Like, man, bruh, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
man, you know, you know, I gotta go to the dentist actually. You know,
Yeah.
excuse me, man. Yeah, self love, self care. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's what it's about. It is about self love. Self love is self care. I would say. You know what I mean? Or vice versa. You know what I'm saying? It's very important, very important, very important. Um, we got to be around. We got to be around. So we got to be young, man. We could
Yeah.
be, and speaking of that, nah, dude, we could probably move on. But I realize, like, like when you like young and old is a relative term. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I go to the VA. When I go to the VA office, when I go to the VA, there are obviously older people there than me. And they'll be like, "Oh, hey, young man, excuse me, young man." You know what I'm saying? I'm like, but if I talk to somebody who's 20, they call me old. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But if I look at my neighbors are like in their 60s, right? But they're still active. They still look good, still look young. And I'm like, man, you know what I'm saying? It's young, and when I had a doctor's appointment and I was telling them about, when mom passed away, how old mom was when she passed, and the doctor was like, man, she was young. You know what I'm saying? Like, of course, mom was 58. And I'm just
Mhm.
like, you know what? That is young, man. You know what I'm saying? So never think you're too old to do or start anything. That's the whole message. You're not too old. You know what I'm saying? You 40, 50, 60, that's still young, man. That's still young. That is still young.
Yeah.
So
Just don't take your old ass out and start thinking that you just gonna start running.
yeah,
Take it easy. Take it easy.
yeah,
Ease
take
into it.
yeah, 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 yeah. Take it easy. Take it easy, man. Take it easy, man. Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
man. I like, look, man, I met plenty of people who's 70 years old. You wouldn't even believe it, man, that they're 70.
Yeah.
So it's good, man. But yeah, bro, let's go ahead and get into this, man. Yeah, man. You wanted to talk about uh, we're gonna start with
So so some things that we wanted to talk about was uh how black men are moving to conservative and more towards the GOP. That's the trend that we are starting to see. Um and it's also affecting certain races, which at the end of the day, we're only really seeing it in one particular race.
mhm,
But again, in California, where again a certain um, person um, has his hands in that race, which would be Ice Cube,
mhm,
because I think it's close to there, where he would, um, where he was raised or whatever near Compton in
mhm, mhm,
New
mhm,
York. Um, so again, just trying to really talk about how that can affect our future and
mhm.
how black men are being misled because they are being misled,
Yeah.
and how they are trying to align themselves with money
Mhm,
rather
mhm,
than principle.
mhm.
Um, just and celebrityism, that kind of thing. So I
Yeah.
really wanted to kind of get into that kind of stuff.
Yeah, man, and, it's one of those things to where black men have always, or not, I won't say always, but like if you do a little bit of reading, you'll see that black men like followed, mimicked what wealthy white men did, right? You
Hmm.
know what I'm saying? So during before this country was formed, when you had Africans who were freed, freedmen, that's what they would call them. They bought other Africans, you know what I mean, to make money. You know what I'm saying? Because the overarching patriarchal society with white men was doing that. You know what I'm saying? And we see it like today, right? Malcolm X talked about it in his book, right? He talked about how black people, particularly black men, were mimicking white men and how they participate in economics. You know what I'm saying? And things of that nature. So, and then, today we see it with how we consume, or how it really aligning, you know what I mean, a lot of the rhetoric, you know what I'm saying? Because there's this idea that, oh, if I align with them, then I'll get the same success too, right? If I align with the same patriarchal society, and if I have this, I create the same patriarchal rhetoric and all these other things, you know what I'm saying? Then I'll somehow get something as well. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
When at the end of the day, you're just being used, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And like you were talking with Ice Cube, the problem with Ice Cube is that, look, Ice Cube was problematic, right? Like we were talking about, like, because one thing I noticed about Ice Cube, right? So Ice Cube, basketball league, he, I guess his basketball league was like going under or something. So
Hmm.
Steve Bannon had he went to some business guy who was a business partner or a friend of Steve Bannon, and when Ice Cube put out his platinum plan, the critique of his platinum plan was that it was male driven, black male driven, and it left out black women. You know what I'm saying? And then you take the audio of Steve Bannon saying that, hey, we just need 50% of black men, to vote, to not vote Democrat, basically. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? We just need 50% of that group to not vote, or vote Republican. You know what I'm saying? And then you start to put the pieces together, and you're like, and it goes back to black capitalism. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Right.
Black capitalism. You know what I mean? These individuals, these celebrities who got money, you know what I'm saying? They look out for themselves. They're not looking out for everybody. They're looking out for themselves. And with that, they understand the rhetoric, or they speak in a certain manner to where these other black men, who don't have, who are actually being who are actually being exploited by capitalism, right? They're being exploited because they're getting low wages. They can't, rent's going up. You know what I mean? But they're like, well, Ice Cube said, you know what I'm saying? So, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. Because you're talking about a person like he speaks the colloquial language, right?
Mhm, mhm,
So you can relate to him ju-
mhm,
just just through language.
mhm,
And what we're seeing with with black people, we've seen it through COVID, right?
mhm,
Where you had actual black people telling other black people, not to look out for themselves in the healthiest manner. You know what I'm
mhm,
saying? Um, but not realizing at the end of the day, the person that was speaking or saying that was already a millionaire, right?
right.
So they want something from the people that they are speaking to, which
Mm,
is trying to gain the capital from this audience. And a lot
mhm,
of black people don't put these things together and sit back and like, well,
mm.
technically he's trying to sell me something, right? Um yeah,
At the end of the
like,
day,
yeah, you trying to
they're
sell me
trying to sell
something.
yourself, right? Mhm, mhm,
Whether it's a concert ticket, whether it's, what I'm saying, the album, or whatever it is, people have
mhm,
to understand that, um, because again, you pointed out when we were talking, this is what Donald Trump understood, right?
mhm. Mhm.
This is why you go and call the Steve Harveys to the White House, call Ice Cube to the White House, you
Mhm.
know, go and talk to, you
Kanye.
know, Kanye,
Yeah. Mhm.
go and talk to black ministers.
But
And
mhm.
like, because at the end of the day, when you're talking about a capitalistic society, those
Mhm.
black ministers were trying to gain capital
Mhm.
from, the people in their audience.
Right.
So again, trying to line themselves up with money.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah, because this whole country is based on economics, right? You know what I mean? You get in where you fit in, you know what I'm saying? And Malcolm X said it, man. Malcolm X said it, man. There's no difference between a black businessman and a white businessman. He said it.
Yeah.
There's no difference. And black people, look, we have to understand a lot of things economically. You know what I'm saying? You know, so and one thing that our country is our country when it comes to celebrity culture, we have a very unhealthy celebrity culture. You know what I'm saying? That's one thing I don't like about like social media, man. Like people are more worried about celebrities' relationships than their own. You feel me?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like why are you worried about the celebrities' their relationship? They're fine. You know what I'm saying? It was like the whole Will Smith and Chris Rock thing. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, what I mean? Two millionaires who were fine, but everybody went on for weeks about a slap, dog. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Because we have a very unhealthy celebrity culture, you know what I'm saying? And that celebrity culture, and people who are not inside of our culture picks up on that and exploits it, and people in our community pick up on that and they exploit it as well. You know what I'm saying? And make us, and turn us into or don't do things in our best interest. You know what I mean?
Yeah. 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 Well, a clear statement from Pastor Gray,
Hmm.
down in Greenville, South Carolina, right?
Hmm.
You know, when he was talking to his congregation, and he was saying, "Oh, well, people from up north are the devils. They think that they're God themselves,
No.
right?" But again, you're talking about a person who is, if he's not a millionaire, he is pretty close to it,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah. Hmm. Hmm.
So the point is, what he needs you to do is to not listen to no one that's outside of him, so you can come to him for the knowledge, but you will have to pay a tithe
Hmm.
to get that knowledge,
Yeah, yeah.
because that's how he gets the Lamborghini.
Mhm, mhm.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like, we have to start, you said it earlier, like, we have to understand economics
Right.
and understand that our decisions on a daily basis are not, we're looking at it in an emotional
Mhm,
place,
mhm,
because what we go through is emotional, right?
mhm.
As a culture.
Just day to day, just living. Yeah, yeah,
Just
man, people trying to survive. Yeah, 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 yeah. Mhm.
Yeah. So that's an emotional experience, where we're taking that emotional experience, and we're trying to push policy to get passed, but not understanding, one, the economics to
Mhm,
make sure that bill get passed.
mhm,
Two, understanding the economics of the opposite um component or person on the other side of that argument, and why are they arguing opposite of what that you go through,
yeah, yeah. Mhm,
and we
mhm.
don't tie that together.
Yeah, man. 'Cause I always say, man, because I think that, uh, it's there's a video, like a black and white video from 1960, and it's talking about how black people it's talking about how to market to black people or how black people spend money or something like that. I can't remember. So it's like in the 1960s. And they were basically saying that black people, we would buy name brand things because we that's how we consume, right? Even today, we are the group that would more likely buy name brand things. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? We very rarely buy non-name brand things. You know what I'm saying? A lot of us used to get clowned for, for having the cereal that said cereal on it. You feel me?
Mhm.
Or having the Fruit Loops that said Circle O's or something like that. You feel me? So that was part of our culture. You know what I'm saying? And of course, we can go back into people killing people for Jordans and starter jackets and things of that nature. You know what I'm saying? It's how we consume. We consume. We buy name brand things. Black people got tied to Cadillac, right? Expensive cars. You know what I'm saying? Um, and when we try to make a connection like, oh well, that black celebrity is spending money the same, they're consuming in the same manner that I'm consuming, so we're equal. So
Mhm.
they think that there's a shared, what I mean, there's a shared identity or shared voice, right? Shared experience, I would say. What I mean? But no, they're a millionaire, they're going to survive. You know what I'm saying? And that black millionaire is telling you to do things that you aren't going to survive with. You know what I'm saying? You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
Yeah, like if you read Ice Cube, if anybody read Ice Cube's Platinum Plan, the critique everybody was saying was that it lacked infrastructure. It
Mhm.
lacked infrastructure. It lacked a real plan. It wasn't a plan. It was just a bunch of words and a bunch of things put together. And Ice Cube didn't have any real way to voice how to get it done. Right. That was
Right, right,
the biggest critique of it.
right.
So,
Because you can say black people need funding,
mhm,
financial funding, right?
yeah.
But just like it stated in his platinum plan, and it's like, okay, well, how do you do that?
How do you do that? Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Like it never went into the details of,
mhm,
well, how black people, you know, why they need funding
mhm,
is because XYZ. We know that most student loan debt is literally owned by black people.
by black people. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, we have the highest percentage of student loan debt. Okay,
Mhm,
well, why? Oh, well, because we didn't have, our homes
mhm.
when they were getting redlined and everything else,
Yeah,
or taken away from us, um, through, what is that, process where, eminent domain,
yeah, eminent
uh,
domain. Okay.
those kind of things, and we're losing our properties, and, then dealing with a recession,
Mhm.
which it usually hit us the worst because
It
we're
hits us
always
pretty
poor.
close. Yeah.
We have no money to pay for college.
Right, right, right. And that's a good point when you talking about recession, because I don't think that people understand how, like, again, when we're talking about economics, right? The problem over the last 50 years or so is that when, prior to 1970 or so, recessions used to be like far apart. You know
Mhm.
what I'm saying? The problem is that now they're close, right?
Yeah.
Like the people that went through the recession in 2008, can potentially be going through another recession in 2023 or 2024. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? So like that's close, man. You're talking about four or five generations of people, four generations, something like that, of people, man, who's going through that. People who had to, in 2008 had degrees and had student loans to pay off. And oh, by the way, the Biden administration is forgiving student loans. They've taken out X billion dollars. I can't remember what it is, but they've been doing that. But a lot of those individuals had to turn in their use their master degree to go work at some low wage job. You know what I mean? Like packing bags. You know what I mean? Just to survive.
Yeah.
And they're just now climbing out of it. They were just now climbing out of that in 2020. A lot of them were, man, you know what I'm saying? A lot of them was the reason why the housing, boom, you know,
Mhm.
was rising again because they're like, "Oh, all right, well, I can buy a home again." You know what I'm saying? They were just recovering. So, but these celebrities, man, these celebrities that have people out here making these they will have thousandaires making millionaire decisions. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, man. But yeah.
But yeah, man, those are. those are things that, man, we have to understand the whys. Why we have the two different uh the two different s- uh viewpoints,
Hmm.
and not look at them in a manner where, oh well, again, it's the basketball theme, right? Blue team, red team,
Yeah.
and so like we can't look at it in that manner anymore,
Hmm.
because we have to start understanding, again, policy and
Policy.
the economics behind the policy.
Yeah.
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 Like, it can't be based off of, well, oh well, Joe Biden was racist in '76.
Right. Right.
Like, does that make any sense today?
Right. Does that make any sense today when the other side wants to take away your Medicare, wants to take away your Social Security, wants to take away, doesn't want you to have healthcare, don't want to raise minimum wage, don't want you to work at a union job, and on and on and on and on. Like,
Abortion, on and on and on.
yeah, and it's on there to passing anti-CRT laws, and you know what I'm saying, like
We don't want
anti-LGBTQ.
you talking about your Black history at all.
Oh yeah, that group just took away women's rights to privacy, right? When we're talking Roe
Yeah.
v. Wade, you know what I'm saying? People get hung up on the abortion part, but it really is a right to privacy. So if they can take away that group of people's right to privacy, guess what they can do to you? You know what I'm saying? As a man, and most definitely as a black man, they can take away your rights. You know what I mean?
Well, the statement was very clear from Clarence Thomas, man. He
Yeah,
literally said, "You don't have a right to privacy."
you don't have a right,
He
and
did
it's
not
crazy.
say women. He didn't say women didn't have a right to privacy. He did not say that. What he said was, you, which
Mhm,
meaning men and
mhm,
women of
women.
America, don't have the right to privacy.
And people have to really look at it, man, because now, you got states trying to pass laws now, saying that, once a woman is pregnant, men pay child support. You know what I mean? You ain't got a right to privacy. But the thing is that, he said that because the 14th Amendment established your everybody's right to privacy, but very specifically black people, right? Because the
Yes.
14th Amendment was written for black people, very
Hmm.
specific black people. So if you don't have a right to privacy, then that means the state can invade your privacy anytime it want, not just for medical, not
Yeah.
just for medical. That's the precedent that Clarence Thomas set. You know what I mean? That's what he was saying. He was saying you don't have a right to privacy at all.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Which,
And
which then
crazy.
he aligned, you don't have a right to privacy,
Mhm,
with this right wing Supreme Court striking down the protections we had
mhm,
from, you know, SWAT, police,
mhm, mhm.
ATF. Like, they struck that down, which, like,
Yeah,
if
don't
you
don't
live,
gotta read you
uh,
your rights. Don't gotta read you your Miranda rights either.
don't gotta read you that. And if you live in 100 miles of the coastline,
Mhm.
now they don't even need a search warrant.
Yeah, they don't need a search warrant. Yep, exactly. They don't need a search warrant. So
Where
now,
where do those black people live?
they live on the
100
coast.
miles within the coastline.
Yes, within the coastline, and that's the part that people need to understand, man. What is going on? You know what I'm saying? Not only are they trying to create this theocratic, you know,
Mhm,
states, right? States that are run based on theocracy, right? Based on the Bible and based on the Bible
mhm,
religion, but
mhm.
specifically on the Bible and a very authoritarian interpretation of the Bible. You know what I mean? But they just said that they just like you said, you have black people, we are coming after you. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And they use the black man
to do
to
so.
to do so. That's what Clarence Thomas was put in there for, and that's why Rosa Parks was against Clarence Thomas going in there
Yeah.
as the Supreme. That's why a lot of black people and thought leaders were against Clarence Thomas going into that seat because
Mhm,
of because of what's happening now. You know what I mean? And the Republican Party, like, well, yeah, the black man, you know what I mean, wrote the
mhm.
decision. So you can't. You'll be racist if you go against. You know?
So it's funny that you said that.
Yeah.
Do you know that they actually just did that? Just wrote an article in think it was the Wall Street Journal who
Mhm.
did that because there were black ideologues and professors and so forth that defended Clarence Thomas,
Mm,
who previously did not defend Clarence Thomas, but what they did was they used the outrage to quote unquote from the left of
mm,
calling Clarence Thomas out, and then what they did was then say it's racist
mhm, mhm,
because it's coming from white people.
mhm.
Because,
Yeah,
they got they white people got the loudest voice on the left. Let's call it what it is. It's
that's
racism
what it
in the
is.
left too.
Mhm, mhm.
Call it what it is.
Yeah, but
You
yeah.
know what I'm saying? So they got the loudest voice more than black people on the so-called left or minorities or brown folk.
Mhm,
So what they did was because they are critiquing Clarence Thomas, they then they are defending him and saying, "Oh, by doing so, it's racist and you can call him out on his policy, but when you start calling him um Uncle Tom and so forth," I'm like, well, I don't really see no white leftists saying that because
yeah.
they kind of know better. Black people are calling him Uncle Tom.
It's the black people. Mhm, mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So what you did was you try again using black people to then push a person who's pushing a white supremacy ideology
yeah. Mhm.
to then blame white people to scold black people.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Yeah, and it goes back to what we were talking about with with this whole conversation, with you know these black millionaires, what I
Mhm.
mean, who align themselves with the patriarchy, with the white patriarchy, and they themselves uh uh, uh they 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 benefit from it, right? They benefit from it. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Those individuals that you're talking about, they benefit from it in some manner. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
yeah, so and they don't care. They don't care. You know what I'm saying? Martin Luther King talked about that in his letter of Birmingham jail about black people who align themselves with or who align themselves with white supremacy and white nationalism because they benefit from it. They don't say anything, and they see that there are people. They see that there are black people, people that look like them, who are fighting to tear down the system, and they
Mhm.
just shrug their shoulders like, "I made it. Well, why can't you?" You know, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like,
What's
oh,
what's that sports guy? Uh um
Jason Whitlock.
oh man, yeah, yeah. That guy.
Oh my god.
Calling some, the comedian Leslie, I think that's her name.
Oh yeah, yeah. I seen that.
Calling her ugly, and I'm just sitting here like,
But but
dude,
the nefarious says that he, as a black man, used a black woman to do that, and
y y
after he called her ugly. You feel what I'm saying? And it lines of what we're talking about, right? He acted in a manner in which a white man would act, that don't like black people, right? I'm
yeah.
not going to say it because I'm a man, but
Mhm,
I'm
mhm.
gonna allow you as a black woman to say what I, and
Yeah.
he says that when he mentioned it, man. I do not like Jason Whitlock, man. I do not like him, man. You know what I'm
No.
saying?
As we're
No.
watching the sister also trying to align herself with white supremacy.
Oh yeah,
Like,
yeah. Oh,
this is
Shamika.
what's going down.
Yeah, she's been like that, man. She's trying to be Candace Owens, man. Because there's
Yeah,
a lot of black people that saw the bag that Candy got, right? They saw the bag that Candace Owens got. And so they trying to get that same bag. They trying to get that same bag that Candace Owens got, that Diamond and Silk got, that uh uh
mhm,
Brandon Tatum, what's that dude? Yeah, Brandon Tatum,
mhm,
the
mhm.
Hodge twins, like Larry Eld, like on and on and on. They trying to get that bag, man.
Gotta get that bag.
Trying to get that bag. And it's you know, part of the assimilation process. You know what I'm saying? To assimilate, right? To assimilate, you have to not like a group of people. You just have to in order to assimilate, right? Because if you could, because if you're steady fighting against patriarchy, if you're steady fighting against supremacy and nationalism, well, you can never assimilate. You can never assimilate, right?
Right, right, right. Because
Mhm.
going back to our conversation, the reason why you can't assimilate is because who holds most of the money, right? Usually what you find is with a lot of these white men
Mhm.
that most white businessmen align with Republicans, right?
Mhm.
But they also have uh bigoted thoughts
Right, right.
because they don't hang out with no black people.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? Like they don't really know no black people.
And the few they do know, hang out with,
They just
it
went to school
make
with.
make them comfortable,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
make them comfortable, man.
But they got the bag.
They got the bag, man. They got the bag, and it's just, it's just way too many of them, man. Just way too many of that group, of white men. It's just way too many of them, man. It's way too, the good ones who are out here, writing books and respectful of culture and
Mhm.
everything like that, man. It's just not enough. It's not enough, man. It's
And
not
they don't
enough.
have enough money.
Yeah, that's true, man. That's true. Yeah, that's true, man. That's true.
You know,
And
that's the battles that we're seeing with a
yeah,
lot
man.
of these races.
Yeah,
Is
Herschel Walker.
like, yeah,
Herschel Walker, prime example of that, man. Of what we're talking about, man. This man has zero the only reason he's running against Raphael Warnock is because he's a black man,
yep.
and he can espouse bigoted, talking points and say bigoted
Mhm.
things, and if you attack him, as a white person attacking Herschel Walker, well, now you're racist,
Yeah.
you know. So
Black men, stay home. Stay home with your children.
yeah, man.
Like you end up raising this foolishness
Yeah, man.
as
And,
as,
and yeah.
as you can't look in the mirror and the hypocrisy was all like it was splattered on the film. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Like at the end of the day, watching his son
Yeah,
become who he is,
yeah,
and
man.
then watching the lies
Yeah,
out in the open that his father was telling,
yeah,
should have told his son, my dad was never honest with me.
yeah, yeah, man.
So
Yeah.
I might be living a lie.
Mhm. Yeah, that's not how you see it, man. He's privileged, man. He's privileged, man, and
Right.
he's privileged, and he's part of the LGBTQ community, and he doesn't like the LGBT. Like, what goes on in your brain, man? I don't know, man. That kid
Well,
is,
because he can use it as a shield, right?
yeah, mhm,
So he used it as a shield
mhm,
being a part of that community, and then the next he used his black side
mhm,
as also a shield,
mhm, mhm.
and then also use his privilege of being rich.
Yeah, mhm.
You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying? I'm like, and a lot of people can't see through that kind of stuff, man. And it's like,
Amy.
phew,
Yeah, 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 man. But
but we got to stop our good air from going over to China. We gotta stop our good air, man. I was outside. I was outside with a bag, man, earlier today. Man, I
Mm.
seen some good air down the street, bro. I started running after that good air, man, and start trying to put it in the bag.
Oh my God, this man said our good air go to China and their bad air come to America. Bro, man. Oh my gosh, man.
Bro,
Oh
I'm trying to
Lord,
tell you,
have
bro.
mercy, man.
He got me storing good air in the garage, man. Yeah,
Put it in a bottle for later. You know what I'm saying? I need to breathe this good air later, huh? Start stacking it up,
yeah,
man.
yeah. Good air. Mhm.
Oh man. That dude, like every time I hear him, I'm like, yo, the only reason he's running against Warnock is that he's black.
He's black.
That's it, man. That's the
Yeah,
only reason he's running against Warnock, man. The
yeah.
only reason, man.
He literally made a statement, literally saying so he made a statement talking about black people only voted for Walmart because he was black, and I'm looking at Herschel Walker was saying this this crazy stuff. I'm just like, but you're black,
Black. You
yo, man. You can't make this stuff up, man.
bruh, Herschel crazy, man. Man, bro.
Yeah, you can't
Right.
bring
You
you can't
just can't
make
make
this
it up,
stuff
bro.
up.
You just can't make it up, man. And it's yeah, man. And it's just sad sometimes, man. Sometimes you just have to laugh at it like, yo, this is real life, man. This is where we at in America, man, where people like Herschel Walker can run for elected offices and make policy decisions that affect people's lives. You know what I'm saying? You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
I'm gonna be honest, bro.
Hmm.
I'm gonna be honest, bro. I spent some time in special ed, man.
Hmm.
And you know, when Donald Trump became president, you know what I said to
Hmm.
myself?
What's that? What's that?
I can be president too. When I
Right.
hear Herschel Walker,
Oh my
man,
God.
I can run for office too.
Yeah, man.
Man,
Man,
because if that's the brains that you gotta have,
bruh. Man.
I
But
know for a fact I can still run laps around them.
yeah, the difference is you got knowledge, you're smart. Like Herschel, not. No way. No, that man's brain is rocks. Right.
Good job, boy.
I think, oh man, what was I reading? Oh man, I read this thing a few years ago. That was part of the reason why Jerry Jones, not Jerry Jones, who was the Cowboys coach? God dang it, in the 90s. What was his name? I can't
Oh,
remember.
my goodness. He
Yeah,
he's an announcer now.
yeah. So that was part of the reason why he traded Herschel, because the locker room didn't like him. And they thought like Herschel was like real dumb. They're like, yo, this dude he is dumb. Like, yo, he dumb. Like,
Yeah,
nah, nah. And he would make statements like that against black people. He would make like real anti-black statements and stuff. And so it caused a lot of issues in the locker room. And Jimmy Johnson was like, oh, it's like, nah, gone, get out of here. He
wow.
traded Herschel, man. Yeah, unfortunately, he came and played for our Eagles too, but
Yeah, didn't last long, but
didn't last long.
yeah,
Didn't last long. Yeah.
like
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
to
Uh,
a couple people down in Georgia, man, they was like, man, that's one of my heroes, man. And I'm sitting here like, he played for the Eagles.
yeah,
And man, people love the fact that he came to the Eagles. Let me tell you, I didn't. It's Herschel. Uh,
yeah. Like I don't remember like until now, this moment, I'm like, oh yeah, he played for the Eagles, but I'm
yeah,
like, yeah,
yeah,
like I remember Ricky Waters or Deuce
yeah.
Staley or Charlie Garner more than I remember Herschel
Herschel
Walker.
Walker.
Like,
Herschel Walker.
like
And
I don't even
we
know
were
my name.
sitting when he was on the Eagles. We were sitting in front of the TV with our stepfather.
Yeah,
That's when we were really getting into football.
yeah.
So yeah, it wasn't memorable.
It wasn't memorable at all, at all, at all. I don't even know anybody that bring him up being an Eagle.
No.
Yeah,
Mm-mm.
yeah. They'll talk about Charlie Garner before they talk about Herschel Walker. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, man. Yeah, man. Yeah, but there's a lot of stuff going on in the world, man. In the world of politics, man. But you know, really, black people gotta get out and vote, man. We gotta get out. We gotta show up at 60%, man. Generally during the midterms, black people show up around 30%, maybe 40. I think it's real low. And that's nationwide. In order
Yeah.
for us to make changes, we got to show up at like 60%, man. We really got to show up, because not only are we, you know, potentially losing, could lose, a democracy, the policies that people want to see, which is some great policies that Joe Manchin is blocking as always, because
Mhm.
he's hater number one. you
Yeah.
know we can't get done. We have to be, the future for this country has to be more progressive. It just simply has to be. We're in like the 40th year of Ronald Reagan, man, and we can't keep doing this.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Like,
yeah,
hey man, we got to pull the socialist lever. You know what I'm saying? And
yeah,
and, and the reason why is because this nation does better when you pull the bottom half up.
right,
Right. When you start seeing what we've been seeing over the last few years of just rich people getting richer and everybody else is kind of muddling along, we will always have these struggles, whether it comes from real estate, whether it comes
Mhm.
from, the buying a car, affording,
Yeah,
renting a house. We
yeah,
will always have these issues if that is what our system is, if we don't get out and vote. And
right.
and I know people criticize Joe Biden for saying that, right?
Mhm.
For saying, we if we want to see change, you got to get out and vote more and give us more incentives.
You
Yeah,
you you do because it's not enough. It's just not enough.
it's if you want to see any change, because again, man, like we are built off policy,
Mhm.
you know,
Mhm.
like, and laws. Like that's what this country is built off of.
Yeah, man. And
And
that's
if
what
you can't enact people to either implement those laws
mhm.
or create those laws, man, you will get exactly what we've been going through of the
Right.
stripping of our rights.
Right, right, right. Right. And the economic right, and that's a good point. Like people don't understand the problem is that we haven't put people in these places to actually enact progressive change or change that matters. You know what I'm saying? Like you see a Joe Manchin who is blocking and again, the Supreme Court said the EPA can't do they block the good provision of the EPA, so, talking about clean air, where that affects black people, where black people breathe, live again, metropolitan areas where people drive cars the most, and then where there's higher pollution, things of that nature, you know what I'm saying? And they said, yeah, yeah, the government can't clean the air, you know what I'm saying, or can't create policies to clean air, clean the environment, and things of that nature. And people need to understand that the EPA was formed because black people asked for the EPA to be for or some environmental protections because black communities were being poisoned with air pollution, poisoned with lead, poison, dirty water, and things of that nature. So the EPA was formed, under Nixon. So, and we can't do anything in this moment because we just don't have enough senators to override the Joe Manchin and the Christian Cinema. You know what I mean? To I don't even know what Christian Cinema is doing. At least I understand Joe Manchin, you know what I mean? If Joe Manchin comes out and say he's a conservative, okay, whatever. I don't know, you know what I'm saying? You get money from coal, like I get it, but you're still, on the wrong side of history here. You know what I'm saying? So, we do have to go out and not just change the federal level, we got to change the local level as well because a lot of these politicians are enacting a lot of local policies. Man, I saw that South Carolina is about to pass a law where if you help someone if you help someone drive across straight lines to get an abortion, you'll face like this crazy time. It's like, or you'll crazy time. You'll face this a fine of like $250,000 or something like that
Right.
because they know that they already know it's poor people who would be more likely or who would get abortion. Really, is people who have money, families. People who was like, hey, we
Mhm.
can't afford another kid. You know what I'm saying? But if a poor person, and that's what Roe v. Wade was about, right? The original Roe v. Wade was that the woman Roe could not go travel across state lines because Texas had banned abortions in the state, but she didn't have enough money to travel to another state. So she
Right.
was she was saying, "Hey, I should have the right to have to my own medical and make medical and personal decisions." So South Carolina is on the local level. Again, this affects local people because again, where we live at. You know what I'm saying? And the people that vote here, you know what I'm saying? Uh, we need to change that. You know what I'm saying? We need to change a lot of the people, our people who are quote unquote representative, and they don't represent us at all. They don't represent us at all, man.
So so what people don't understand is, what do you think that do to your right of freedom of movement?
Yeah. Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Take away your
this is yeah, this is how we have to think about things like when Republicans always talk about, "Oh, the slippery slope." No, Republicans are creating the
yeah.
slippery slope
All right.
because of what they're arguing. What they're arguing is something that's always regressive.
Mhm. Mhm.
And because they're arguing something regressive, and if it's going to take you back or it's going to take away, it's only one more step till you don't have it.
Yeah. Yeah. Mhm.
That's the difference between being progressive and honestly being regressive, which is the Republican Party.
That's the Republican Party. Yeah, yeah. They no longer are running on a, actually policy. They're just running on just trying to destroy, you know what I mean? You know, uh, create a ruling class of rich people, right?
Mhm,
Because I was telling somebody about how feudalism, right? How they're creating feudalism, where people will not be able to own anything, own a home, right? Because the wealthy, because of Trump's tax cuts, it gave the wealthy a bunch of money. The wealthy made money during the pandemic while everybody else lost money. So the top 2% in this country made money during the pandemic while everybody else lost money. You know what I'm saying? And also currently during this inflation thing stuff, you know what I'm saying?
mhm,
And that allowed a lot of the real estate companies, and you might know a little bit more about this,
mhm,
to buy up a lot of property, right? So there's like literally zero homes. There's like no homes, you know. So what people are doing is I saw this thing where people are renting Airbnbs for a month because it's cheaper
gee,
to do that than it is to go rent. Well, Airbnb got rid of this, and now they're going to stop doing it, allowing people to do it. You know what I'm saying? So again, they're creating these conditions to where people will have student loan debt,
mhm,
won't be able to, and already depending on, I forget, I think we have 30 right to work states or something like that, and they want to kind of make that federal. You know what I'm saying? So basically, you can get fired whenever because whenever somebody decide you won't be able to negotiate a higher wage or get paid a higher wage, you know what I'm saying? And so you won't be able to purchase a home, you know what I'm saying? Because there's no homes. And then they have these communities that's getting created in certain areas where these builders, these real estate developers built homes, they built like 50 homes or something like that,
mhm.
but you can only rent them. You
Yeah,
can't buy them.
yeah. So the builders are going to, they're building the development just like we live in, right? But like you said, literally renting everything out. And
Yeah.
that's literally their business model.
Yeah.
Um, now when it comes to like, are there no homes? It's homes out there, but the
Mhm.
but the but the problem is like we were talking in here. Me and the missus was like, man, we starting to see a lot of homes under 200,000 come on the market
Mm,
now. Keep in
mhm,
mind, we and 200,000, man, they wouldn't last. But the
mhm.
problem is the banks already told you during the pandemic that they ain't giving no loans to no one who has a credit score who would even want a $200,000 home,
Yeah.
because a $200,000 home is either like a 3-1,
Mhm,
it's like 1,100 square feet,
mhm, mhm,
1,300 square feet. It's not that big of a home. It's not in your desired area.
mhm.
All of these things, they haven't been giving loans to those people.
And you know what's crazy is that, when it comes to credit, like, like an individual paying rent is not part of your credit history. You paying your electric bill on time, you paying your water bill on time. None of that is part of your credit history, but that is part of owning a home. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? So somebody is more than likely paying a rent of, let's say, 1,400, but in that $200,000 home, the mortgage would be 12. So they are
yeah.
obviously showing that they can afford that home. You know what I'm saying? Like,
It
it, yeah, man, it's crazy.
these
It's
are the
crazy.
systems that we have in place. Like, it doesn't make any sense.
Doesn't make
But
any sense.
again, this is what happens when I was talking to a gentleman at my job, and it's like, he kind of brought it up, and I'm just like, yeah. I said, you got to think about what he was basically stating that the same thing that you're talking about, like, you know, if they're renting, they obviously can't afford a home. And I was like, well, that's not true
Not
because that
true.
doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Because if they can afford $1,100, $1,200, you mean to tell me they can't find a mortgage that's 900 to
Yeah.
$1,200? I'm
Yeah.
like,
And the
come
answer is
on,
yes, they can. They
they
can.
can.
Yeah, they can, man. Yeah.
But again, how our structure of credit score,
Mhm.
the myth of credit score.
The myth of credit scores, man.
I gotta say that
Yeah, man.
because it's a myth
Mhm.
that they use to literally keep fuck it. Uh, literally used to keep black and brown people out of neighborhoods. That's what they use the credit score for. Because in
Mhm.
the end, you're talking about
Yeah, yeah,
you're
yeah.
talking about a system
Mhm,
that's
mhm.
in place all the way from your K to 12 education, which isn't funded properly to even get you an education that's even decent enough. That then you don't even have enough money to even go to college, not even a community college. So
Right.
when that happens, how are you going to buy a home when you only have a high school diploma? And then on top of that, in our community, which I'm going to tie all this whole conversation together, where we have people, black people, that are successful in our community that don't come back to make sure other people get training to create a skill based community in the field that they are because they don't want to have competition
Yeah, they
because
don't
they need to rub elbows with white people
Mhm. That have money.
so that have money so
Mhm.
they can get more money. So,
Mhm.
so it's this whole thing of always creating a customer base.
Right, 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 right. Creating a customer
Level.
base, man.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
at
what
every
it's about.
level.
And if you keep people in debt, and yeah, and that's why I was saying, like, those individuals who are paying rent, black and brown people, and the poor white people
Mhm.
who are their own ethnic group, and they don't think so, but they are not ethnic group. I'm sorry, their own economic class.
Yeah.
Their own economic class. Uh, they pay rent on time. You know what I'm saying? Very
Mhm.
rarely are they late. You know what I'm saying? The rent's late. You know what I'm saying? And things of that nature. You know what I mean? Rent's being paid on time. There's a lot of people who rent in luxury apartments. They rent luxury townhomes. They rent in
Mhm.
gated communities. You feel me? But but again, that's not counted towards your credit. That's not
Yeah.
counted. Like that's that should be. You know what I mean? Like we don't have a system to where it's a gradual system, right? So where people do rent, for a little bit. And then after
Mhm.
you rent, then you can go buy a townhome. And then once you live in a townhome, you go buy a 3-1, a 3-2, you know what I'm saying? And then if you got a bigger family, you go get you know what I mean? Or a four
Mhm.
three bath or whatever, you know what I'm saying? You know, a two-story and so on and so forth. We don't have that system in place because, like you're saying, our school system is set up so that our school system, first off, it needs to get changed because it's set up for individuals to go mm, immediately work in like low-paying jobs anyway. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like it's not set up for our kids to work, well-paying jobs. It just isn't. Even if they're in tech schools, they still got a technical school. They still got to go to some sort of secondary school. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
To get extra training. That's debt that they're taking on. So you know.
Because you gotta be as a kid, um, I always thought like, I had this conversation with my English teacher, right?
Mhm,
And in the special ed class. And we're
mhm,
sitting there, and so she's just like, well, why are you not doing the work? I'm just like, because I already know it, right?
mhm.
My little brother can do this work. And I was like,
Yeah,
So it's not teaching me anything that I don't know. The problem is if I, and I'm explaining this to her. I said, the
Mhm.
problem is if I continue to do this, that I won't learn anything anyway.
Right. Yeah.
And she just looked at me and I'm just like, yeah, like I'm not and the problem when they hear a kid at the point of time
Mhm.
say something like that,
Mhm.
like my teacher, like she couldn't respond.
Shocked. He's like, "Whoa, hold up.
Yeah.
Hold on.
And literally,
I don't make enough money for this. Hold on."
yeah, literally her comments to me, after a while, like her kind of like really trying to get to know me and
Mhm.
so forth. It was just like she was like, honestly, John, like you really don't belong in here.
Right.
And it was because, yeah, where I think mentally, I may not understand your American school system and how you're trying to teach something, but I can creatively think about
Mhm.
things in a certain way that these kids or we as kids are being ushered, right? And some
Mhm.
people fall in line and some people are just rebellious because of certain things.
Mhm.
Either bad or good, but
Mhm.
the good rebellion is those kind of things where I'm standing up and just like, yeah, why don't you teach us something harder that we don't know?
Right, yeah, and, that's what I was gonna say, man. There's a study that said that, that happened to a lot of black boys in the '80s and the '90s, you know what I mean, who were pushed into,
Mhm.
special ed class, and it wasn't that they needed to be in special ed class. It was
Oh,
that it was that, hey, they ain't had nothing to eat that morning, and they might not have nothing to eat when they go home, you know
yeah,
what I mean? They ain't got clothes, like, there was so many other factors that came in, you know what I'm saying? And so, and it hurt a lot of black boys, specifically
yeah,
during the time. Yeah, yeah. And of course, you went through that. You
yeah.
know, yeah.
Miss Cone, my first grade teacher. When
Hmm.
when I and keep in mind this isn't from South Carolina because I
Hmm.
can't remember that teacher in South Carolina.
Yeah.
But when I got to, Delaware and was in Christiana, like we was sitting here, um, they they no, it wasn't Christiana. It was oh my goodness, what was that school? I can't remember the school right now. But
Oh, the first school. Oh, I don't remember.
yeah, the first school that we went to,
Heritage was it Heritage?
yes, it was Heritage. Yeah.
Hmm.
So Miss Cone was working there and she told me that, or she was telling mom that basically like I just wouldn't talk.
Hmm.
Whole class wouldn't talk, wouldn't say nothing.
Hmm.
Ask me questions, wouldn't say nothing. I would sit off by myself.
Hmm.
But again, she didn't realize I went through what I was thinking a traumatic event,
Right, 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 right. Hmm.
which was we just up and just left a state.
Hmm.
I don't even know why the hell we left.
Hmm.
And she never asked, never thought or anything. So I had to repeat this first grade again.
Hmm.
But again, here I am. And I understood when she was talking to me that she didn't understand.
Right.
So the next year, started participating a little more. So as and so forth. But the moral of the story
Because you got
is,
comfort.
yeah, 'cause I got comfortable.
Yeah, yeah. Mhm.
I got comfortable. And the moral of the story is, man, that people face these things in these communities, these poor communities or these lower class communities that that rich people or people of um a different class they can't fathom
Mhm,
or they
mhm,
can't
mhm.
understand. So they have these thoughts that, oh, again you said, oh, well, thank you. um, you know, they 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 don't think that people go through these struggles.
Mhm, mhm.
They don't think that when they see something that they deem wrong, or someone is lashing out or so forth, that that person could be going through something.
Right, right. Mhm,
Never crossed their mind. And
mhm,
and you hear it with like, the GOP,
mhm.
the conservatives, and I was talking, or I was commenting, um because they were talking about a similar thing, on a post. So I was sitting here like, hey, well, you calling like Democrats smug because they explain things in the manner that I'm just explaining, that people go through this, and your response is, oh, well, that's an excuse. To
Yeah,
me, you're more smug than someone who at least is trying to make an attempt to understand people's struggles.
right, right. They do a lot of hand waving. They're like, "Yeah,
Yeah,
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 yeah, yeah."
yeah.
If they have no knowledge or experience of it, then it doesn't exist. You
Doesn't
know what I'm saying?
exist.
It
And
doesn't
that's way
exist.
more smug
Mhm.
than someone literally trying to explain what their struggles or stories are.
I agree. I agree, yeah. All that hand waving. And there's a
Yeah.
lot. There's a lot of hand waving that happens on the on the right, you know what I mean, political aisle, side of the
Yeah.
political aisle. But yeah, bro, I appreciate you sharing, man. Sharing that, man. Yeah, man. Yeah, so people understand, that I think that a lot of times people like to talk about behaviors, without, like you're saying, they talk about the behavior and they only want to address the behavior without understanding there's a cause, there's something underneath and that you need to explore, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, especially when you talk about people, who bring up like black on black crime, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo,
Right.
like, hey, you know what I mean? But that's just the behavior, you know what I'm saying? Like there's a cause, and they tell you, and the police know, the policing force in this country knows that jobs is related to crime, you know what I'm saying? So if there's more jobs, there's less crime. If there's less jobs, there's more crime. Yeah.
So
Always
I
on.
did post this on our I'm saying podcast Facebook page, right?
Mhm.
There was a report just simply focused on Chicago,
Yeah.
since they like to point out Chicago. Well, what this report did was dive into high crime
Mhm.
and gun violence. And then the second part of this report dove into banking and the commute to the closest bank. Then the third leg of that report dove into um, jobs and poverty.
Mhm.
So people in the community, because they were poor, they didn't have basically transportation to drive 30 minutes away
Mhm. Mhm.
to go to a higher paying job, that then the closest bank was also close to 4.5 miles away from where they live, from any distance from
Mhm.
most of these, you know, these high crime areas.
So that means they're unbanked. So they're
So
probably
they're
using
also unbanked,
yeah, they're
right?
probably like cash or using the going to the liquor store to cash their check.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Cash,
Still going to the liquor store, cashing their check.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So again, like, when people sit back and they point out, oh, well, Chicago, well, let's talk about poverty. Let's talk about, what would you do if you had to feed your family? What would you do if you had to feed yourself?
Yeah.
Forget all of, like, how you view the celebrities or rappers. Forget
Mhm.
forget that view. We're talking about the everyday person,
Yeah.
because that's who's going to get caught up into that. And the simple reason why they're doing it is because they want to have money like Floyd.
Yeah.
They want to have money
They want to
like
consume.
they want to consume.
They want to
They want
consume
to consume, man,
like
like
everybody.
everybody else.
Yeah, like everybody.
They want to be able to buy a TV. They want to be able to buy nice clothes.
Right. Right. Yeah,
They want
that's
to
the
be able to sit back and not worry about how much money they have.
right. Yeah. 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 Yeah, man. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, man. It's yeah. Again, and like you're saying, man. There's a causation to a lot, a lot of our causation, man. And people stop. People all just looking at the behavior, man. Of these things and not addressing the cause. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I liked about last thing, and we wrap up here, and then that's why one of those important factors into the Biden's Build Back Better plan was having high paying jobs. You know what I'm saying? Where people did not have to have a college degree. You could get a well paying job, you know what I'm saying, to do, fix roads, do whatever, you know what I'm saying? And you didn't need a college degree. You can literally come out of, you come out of high school, have a high paying job. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah.
That's important, but who shot it down? Joe Manchin, Christian Cinema. Again, not
And the Republican Party.
and oh yeah, 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 yeah. And the
Gotta
yes, and the Republican Party has pretty much sat out on the American people during uh, um, Obama's administration and now Biden. So you're talking 12 years almost. They're sitting out.
oh,
Yeah.
also on a policy like that one,
Hmm.
they also did Trump.
What's that?
I said on a policy like what you're bringing up is about
Mm,
high paying jobs. They did the same thing to Trump.
mhm.
So that was the caveat,
Yeah.
was the fact of Trump even said, I don't understand why, you got to have college degrees for some of these jobs.
Some
He
of these jobs.
literally said that.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah.
And and again, when you're talking about all of these administrations, and then you're talking about the oddball of the one administration that didn't belong, well, he said something that should have been great for people, right?
Right, 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 right. Mhm.
And even him being in the same party, basically he had to stop talking about it.
You have to stop talking about it, man. Because again, there's only one political party. Again, people keep trying to poo-poo on Democrats and like, look, you're there is a political party that is trying to create I don't want to call it a slave class, but they're trying to create a class of people who are doing nothing but going to work. You're not owning anything. You won't be able to own anything. You won't be able to participate in the economic, you know, um, being able to pull yourself up by your bootstraps. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? You won't be able to do none of that. You know,
Serfs, man.
serfs, yeah, pretty much, man. That's what they're creating, man. And that's why I say neo feudalism. That's what they are creating. You know what I mean? So, when I hear all this rhetoric about Dems not doing this and not doing, like, yo, you have a whole Republican Party who is not doing anything.
Yes.
You can't even get 10. Manchin could not get 10 Republicans to sign on the Build Back Better plan, which would have gave people jobs, well-paying jobs coming out of high school.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh Lord, have mercy. It
Yeah.
it's just
He
y-
didn't
y-
even get those 12 that voted for the gun bill.
yeah,
It was that it was that Joe Biden calling them out
yeah,
that got them to sit back and be like, "Yeah, this will look real bad."
yeah, yeah, man.
That literally, what's his name? Oh my goodness, he's a Mormon from Utah.
Oh, you're talking Carrie.
Kerry.
Hmm.
No, no,
No,
not
no, not
Kerry.
Carrie. Um, I know you're talking about Mitt Romney.
Mitt Romney. So
Yeah.
Mitt Romney had to go talk to them.
Hmm.
So Mitch McConnell, people got to understand, he can't deliver no Republicans.
None.
None. His
Zero.
whole job is to play a Republican in the Democrat Party to sabotage the Democrat Party.
Yeah,
That's
that's it.
his job,
As a job, that's all.
and he will get rich off
Yep.
of doing that very thing.
Yep.
Christian cinema the same way. Go
Yeah.
out and go raise money the next day.
Go raise money, man. That's all they doing, man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
it's wild, bro. Like,
Mhm.
like, yeah, Joe Biden fumbles a lot. Joe Biden, like, I'm not the biggest Joe Biden fan. I'm just sitting here like, it's Joe. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I didn't think Joe came in administration to save the United States. That's not what. But not in the way that you think about it. But I just needed him to save us away from them crazy ass folk.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah,
Like
yeah.
that was it.
Yeah.
Outside of that, what I need the Congress members to do, because I'm off of Joe Biden, I need the Congress members to do their goddamn job.
Create laws. That is their job, to
Yes.
create laws, man, and so that people can have a better quality of life. You know,
Yes.
and we are not the shining beacon of light of democracy anymore in this world. Like what I mean? When people say that, I'm like, yeah, whatever, man. Get out of here with that.
Yeah.
Get out of here with that. No, but nobody sees us that way anymore. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Because
they actually dropped our rating on democracy.
oh yeah, yeah, there's an actual website you can go to. I can't remember the website.
Mm-hmm.
I'll try to find it. Maybe I'll post it in the Facebook group there.
2000, 2033 or 4.
Hmm.
They're saying United States won't even be considered a world power anymore.
Yeah, I mean,
So like people gotta understand like what's at play.
they gotta understand where we're at. They gotta understand the moment in time
Yeah,
we're at, man. Where we're at.
yeah.
And there's just a group of people who did not like the civil rights movement. They did not like Title IX, women getting rights. They
Mhm.
did not like the LGBTQ movement in the 80s and the 90s and stuff like that. And they are wreaking havoc on this country. They are
Yes.
wreaking havoc on this country, man, and they're gonna wreak havoc on you if you
Yeah.
don't go out and you go vote, man.
Mm.
And get there and replace these folk, man, and get these
They
get
want to
people.
pollute the world. They like they want to do it all. They don't care.
Don't care, man, because they're looking at it. Oh, I'm gonna try and do this during my lifetime. Whatever happens after that, I don't care. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
yeah. I need to make
Whereas,
as much money as I can.
yeah, man. Whereas we're looking at like, oh, we gotta leave a better place for our kids and our grandkids and things of that nature. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
you, but yeah, man. But
It
all
was a
right, bro.
Congress member. It was a Congress member that literally, I mean, I'm gonna end it like this. That literally said that she will shoot her grandkids
Yeah, I seen that.
if she had to, choose them and her gun rights. Like, man, this is where we at.
Like it's crazy,
I'm
crazy.
gonna get, man. If that was my mom, I'm getting a restraining order. My kids ain't never going over there.
Yeah, you never seen that. Never seen.
Mm-mm,
No,
mm-mm.
no, sir. Yeah, man. All right, man. You got last words, bro?
No, man. And hey, man, stay focused, man. Stay
Mm,
focused, man. Stay grounded. Stay grounded, man. Don't lose what this fight has been for hundreds of years.
mm.
Stay grounded, man, because they are definitely trying to drive us off the road.
Yeah, man.
And and for the allies and so forth. Hey, man. Hey, you you need to get behind us. We don't
Hmm.
need you out front. We need you behind us because y'all had y'all turn.
Yeah,
Y'all had your turn. Let us do it.
yeah. Yeah, yeah, man. Yeah, for real, man. For real, man. Yeah, man. Folk just got to get out, man. Understand that we are actually living in history, man. Between the coronavirus, everything that's going on, like we are living in history, man. So you need to decide what part of with Roe v. Wade being overturned and people's privacy, had the potential of being invaded and restrictions on voting, and things of that nature, man. Authoritarianism and fascism globally having a rise, and it's having a rise in this country as well. The GOP is more fascist, and I keep saying that they're
Mhm.
they are a neo-fascist party. If you are on the right, if you are on the right, you are an authoritarian or you are a fascist. That's just where you're at. That's just where you're at. You're not conservative anymore. No such thing as conservative anymore. People are just using that label so they don't prepare just so they don't appear to be bigots, right? Or oppressors, you
Mhm.
know. It was like libertarians, you know what I'm saying, in the early 2000s, 90s, I'm a libertarian, like, yeah, but you still vote, to the right. So, you know, yeah, yeah. So, you know what I'm saying? So we gotta get out here, man, and like JY say, man, and continue this fight, man. Continue this fight. Yeah, man. All right, man. But appreciate you guys. Appreciate you guys that tune in. That's gonna tune in, man. I hope you guys have a great weekend. And if you watch it during the week, I hope you have a great week, man. All right, man. We out.
Love y'all.
Peace.